This program contains strong language and strong sexual content. It is meant for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour Podcast. I'm Ray. I'm sitting here with Mike. Yet again, filling in for Matt is Socrates. He's out on family stuff. This is the second part of our meeting with Bob Starr, who was in WWF and WCW. As we know, last episode talked a lot about his career.
Now shit's about to get
shit's about to get real now. Real quick, I'm going to get into the featured beer, which is Carlsberg Premium Elephant Pilsner.
And it's made out of real elephants.
Yeah. I would assume that if you were to drink beer out of an elephant's trunk, this is probably what it would taste like. Not too bad. So if you get a chance, pick up some Carlsberg and pick up some Premium Elephant Pilsner. And without further ado, we're going to go back to some of the questions that the fans submitted. I apologize. I haven't really been able to see a lot of the fans' names lately. We've covered a lot of the stuff already. But hopefully they know what their questions were and all that. One of the questions was, let me find it on here, was who was your favorite person ever to team up with on a regular basis? Possibly Julio Sanchez. That guy could really work. And also he had a crow gimmick long before Sting did. What's that? I know you teamed up a lot with Tim Burke, aka Lucifer.
Obviously that question, they don't want to know like TV matches because I did a lot of tag matches on TV. But Tim Burke,
some great matches against us.
Yeah, it's hard to understand. It was kind of the thing. At one point, it was like nobody wanted to work with Tim. But we had good matches, so that happened, and then we were like screwing around one day at the office at the gym, and we're like, let's be a tag team. What the hell? I told him, I'm tired of doing jobs all the time. I said, Jesus Christ. And me and Timmy teamed for forever as baby faces and heels, and it was kind of like Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
If you want to do an angle with somebody, who is the person that you can... It's your idea.
Yeah.
So you can tell someone else to do it, or you can be the person doing it.
Yeah.
And it worked about the same. Got us heat all the goddamn time. But no, Timmy, I love Timmy to death. God rest his soul. Yeah,
well, that's the thing. Like, for example, me and Blood, we could work each other every single night. Knew what each other did, all that, and then we were at a War Pigs. We teamed together.
Same with
and,
Blood.
It worked out well. So, and with that, what exactly, how did you work yourself into getting into the enhancement stuff with WWE? How old were you, and how did that opportunity arise when you got into the enhancement stuff?
All right, well, let's go back to the beginning. The beginning would be 91 with NWA/WCW. It was changing.
Yeah.
Because the Crockett's had all but sold it. It was TBS already, but they still had the NWA moniker or whatever. That came from Pretty Boy Larry Sharp.
Okay.
As did all my WWF stuff. Larry Sharp owned the Monster Factory in Jersey, and he would call Dwayne and Barry in Baltimore, who ran the Baltimore Monster Factory. And they just needed bodies. Bottom line, it sounds funny to say it that way, but that's, when Tony Gurria would call, I need 14 bodies. And it would be a funny thing because, we all look like we're dead when we're finished, but it whatever.
Especially when you work Vader.
Yeah. Smart ass. So Larry was responsible for that. So when I heard, I'm trying to think, I think it was August 2nd of 92. They were coming to Baltimore, and it was TV. They announced on television it was going to be a TV taping, which never happened. Mm-hmm. Back then, TVs were always down in like Rock Hill, South Carolina, all the little North Carolina towns, stuff like that. So I said, well, fuck. And it was hard to get it, but I got the number to the WCW, what was the power plant then.
Okay.
Before it was the power plant. And Jody Hamilton, which was one of the assassins, was in charge of enhancement talent. And I got him on the phone, and I was like, listen, my name, is Bob Starr, and I worked for you once in Salisbury against Nikita Koloff, and I would really like to, if there's any way to come, I'm trying to get booked on this show for TV in Baltimore. And he asked me a bunch of questions and stuff like that, and he said, I'll get back to you. I didn't hear from him. Call him back. I always learn, just keep calling until they either tell you to fuck off or until they give you the date. And I called him 3 or 4 times, and they had called Axel because Axel was from the area, and he was just getting that little taste that he had there with News. And so a bunch of guys got booked. I'm trying to think. I don't even remember who all was there. Corey Roberts was there. Morgus was there. I don't think Dino or Romeo or all them. They all came in with me with WCW, but that was the beginnings. You know what I mean? And the deal was this: if you go there once and you look good and you work good, then you're gonna get asked back. Yeah. I mean, it's a guaranteed thing. You know what I mean? And it was. I used to have a guy named Al Phillips, which was a Tom Brandy student, and Robbie Morton too. But they loved Al Phillips. Vader loved Al Phillips. I don't know why. He beat the piss out of him, and Al never complained. But he would literally ask to work with him. Yeah. So then when Jody called me, hey, can you get me Al Phillips and 3 more guys? Or can you get me that? And the same thing for Dwayne. Dwayne did that shit for Tony for years. And we went everywhere, dude. When you worked for WWF, it was hilarious. We go to friggin' upstate New York when it's fucking snowing. But we go to you know what I'm saying? You go just the opposite. You would think you go up there when it's summertime because you don't want the trucks to get stuck. Nope, not there. We went to some crazy towns, boy. But that's how it started. And then once I got into WCW, they knew me from Salisbury. Then I did Baltimore. When Vader boxed my ears in that match, I thought he broke my eardrum. Oh, Jesus. Dusty Rhodes called me. Trying to think, 2 days later. Yeah. And I hung up on him because I thought it was one of the boys playing a rib. Hey, it's Dusty Rhodes, baby. Hang up. Called back. Hang up again. Third time I answered the phone, he goes, motherfucker, if you hang up on me one more time, you're never going to work for us again. Yes, sir. And within 5 minutes, I was booked in Atlanta, Georgia at Center Stage with Johnny B. Bad. That was my first one. And then Van Hammer the next day in Anderson, which wasn't that fireworks story from last week. We were in Anderson every couple months. Yeah. And from those 2 shows, I did good enough for whatever I did in the ring to impress them that they continued to ask me back. And they asked me to bring more guys. Okay. And that's how that happened. And if you would have been around at that time and, out of the gym, out of school, whatever, and wrestling shows, I took everybody. Yeah. I tried to make everybody's dream. That's what this fucking thing's all about. It's dreams.
And that's the whole thing is like you don't really have enhancement talent anymore. Like you look at it, you
don't have superstars anymore. No, I'm sorry. Wait, you have how do you say this?
You have WWE superstars.
Yeah. No, you have wrestling stars.
Yeah. Well, look at it. The last guy who was that was what? James Ellsworth. Okay. James Ellsworth was an enhancement talent, and the fans ended up falling in love with him. He ended up becoming a star.
Vince fell in love with him because he doesn't have a chin. Yeah. And he thought it was funny. And I'm not going to down Jimmy. He doesn't work. He doesn't work. But Vince, dude, when you go up there, it can be the dumbest shit. But if Vince likes it, it's gold.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that deal got screwed up. Whatever, it's not my business. It's politic bullshit. Yeah. But he had his 20 seconds of fame, and it's still making him a lot of money now. So, God love it.
Whatever makes you money, and that's the thing. Like people were hating on him for it. I'm like, you know what? Good for him, because you know what? None of you motherfuckers are there. Mm-hmm. So that's just the whole thing.
And that's the thing. When I have fans, sometimes fans will talk a lot of shit, and some of them did on the thing when you ask for questions and stuff. And what's your win-loss record? What the fuck does it matter? It's not real. Yeah. It's like this ain't 1987 anymore. The business is exposed. I didn't get in this business to win and lose. I got in a fucking business to make money. Yeah. And that's and there's actually some of the boys, not as I don't know. See, I don't know the new guys, but from the older crew, there was a couple of guys that would get pissed off and stuff like that. And I made jokes about getting put over. I don't give a fuck. It's 3 seconds in time that most of the time people don't remember the next day anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, but it's a business. If I can go out there and put them people in the palm of my hand for 15 minutes and make them cheer and make them boo and make them cheer and make them blow the roof off the place, mission accomplished. Give me my fucking money. And it's like, but somebody,
and there's nothing like that
right
in the world. And people who aren't in the business, I mean, maybe if you play baseball or something like that, you know, just like me, I went back to EWA. I'm a trainer now. I help out with referee duties or whatever and all that. It's very hard to stay away.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so hard to stay away. That adrenaline rush is unbelievable.
And even after I broke my neck, I said, I got to stay in the business, so I started reffing.
Well, the thing of it is it's like this. I'm 48 years old. I have a very good job making good money. I cannot take the risks I took when I was 22.
Oh yeah.
You know, and here's the thing. Will I wrestle? That's the number one question I get from people all the time. Yes, I will. I will only do tags or six mans. What the hell do I have to prove? You know, I get a lot of people that call Shane out in West Virginia.
Shane Shadow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Booked me. It was me. It was so funny. It was me, Tracy Smothers, and a local guy against Bobby Fulton and two local guys from the Fantastics, and we had more fun in that match.
Yeah.
Because here we don't have to do nothing. We're already over. The people know who we are.
Yeah.
You know, and we take the local guys and bring them up. You know what I mean? So then next time on their local home show, their name's valued more. It's just all fun, you know. And the thing of it is, if they don't believe, fuck them. What are they doing there? You paid for a ticket to come not believe in what you're looking at. You're a stupid motherfucker. But the business, and just to see my friends, Tracy Smothers is such a great guy, and Bobby Fulton, same thing. They both just went through cancer scares. Bobby Fulton, truth be told, if you remember Hollywood Bob Starr when he first started, all the jackets and all the shit, that was Fantastic stuff. Fantastics were those bolero jackets, and I stole that from them. Everything in the business is stolen.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't think there's anything left with the exception of walking out and sticking a gun to somebody's head, which they did that. And now I'm going to get yelled at because I don't remember the name of the company, and all the boys are going to give me shit. Ruckus was there, and a bunch of guys. It was predominantly, I think the only white guy there was Robbie Moreno.
That was the Urban Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, that's it. Urban Wrestling Federation. And they did pull a gun on somebody.
Dude, when I tell you, he is literally a wrestling thesaurus. He can sit there and name like every champion in a row or whatever. Literally, I call him the wrestling dinosaur because he's a wrestling thesaurus.
We used to be on the phone for like 4 hours just going back and forth with trivia and shit.
It's insane.
Well, I try to tell people, I never snorted cocaine. I never got into all the drugs like this dipshit.
How dare you?
I chose to play with a plant made by God, but it burns some brain cells back. There's some shit. I know what you're talking about, but the details are kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
But
him being taken out of the picture. Like when I initially told Bob was like, I don't know what the fuck Socrates is talking about.
Well, as I mentioned, the night before that, we may have been in Samu's hotel room for a couple hours, engaging in recreational activities. That's all I'm
Corey
going to
Bush
say.
lost some eyebrows.
Corey Bush lost an eyebrow.
See, as soon as he said that, I remembered that. Poor Corey had to wrestle probably the biggest show of his life.
Who still got heat with me from the first podcast.
Al Snow, and as a matter of fact,
yeah, you're wearing his collar and elbow.
Man. I had to pay for the shit though. I don't mind. Al Snow, this is all good stuff, all great materials. Shad Gaspard, real quick, just an off the wall thing that people wouldn't expect from me. If people can check out Al Snow's website at Collar and Elbow and pick up one of the shirts, man. It helps his kids. If you talk about a hero, the guy died trying to save his kid, and that's just horrible. I mean, with all the deaths in wrestling, this was a different one, and to see how it affected so many people, because I don't know him. He was a friend of Ellsworth. He worked for him. I wasn't there at that show. I had to work a real job. I hate that word. That's a 4-letter word. Anyway, but everybody that I've talked to is a great guy, and like I said, if you can help out, you know. But all Al Snow stuff's great. I've got all kinds of shirts at my house, and the material's great. The prices are right, and plus it helps one of the boys. You know, and that's what it all comes down to. You stick to the boys.
All right, we got a couple more fan questions here. The first one comes from Leon Ryan Adams. Bob already answered the first part of this, and we'll still go ahead and repeat it anyway. How did you find your way to WCW, and who was the best performer you ever had the honor of working with in the ring?
You've worked with a lot of good guys.
Gotta be Shawn
A lot
Michaels.
of good
Just
guys.
taking a
It's a
step.
veritable
That's
who's
not
who.
WCW.
Oh, I thought you said overall. It was
Well,
the best
I would
performer.
just say overall. Let's just do it overall.
The
between
question was
two.
asked in
Yeah.
WCW,
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
We can go overall.
Honestly, if I was to pick one person, the best worker I ever got in a ring with, wow, that's fucked up.
Would it be Savage?
for different reasons.
I can't say Savage because we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I worked that match with a completely blown out knee, and he came up to me and he said, "Brother, I'll get you paid. Don't worry about it," because I was worried about getting paid. And I'm like, Randy, you don't understand, dude. I
Yeah.
grew up watching you. This just to do a job for you is a privilege. I just want to be part.
How about Steamboat? Possibly Steamboat.
Ricky Steamboat and Bobby Eaton.
Oh,
Bobby
Eaton was
So-
so smooth.
so smooth, right?
Yeah, we actually, it's a funny story. We closed the original Columbus Civic Center. We were the very last match. They had the wrecking balls and shit on the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
When we finished that taping, they tore the building down. Now there's a new Columbus Civic Center down there, from what I was told. And we never came back because WCW it got bought out and all that other shit. But and see, I can't say Sean's bad, but Sean with me, he was stiff. That elbow sucked.
Wow.
I mean, he just drilled me
Yeah.
with that fucking thing. But so did Savage.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? But Savage, it was a reason for it.
What was
and
it
he
like?
explained
What
to
was it
me.
like working National Hall on Nitro in the middle of the whole Monday Night War?
Dude, they were over. Fuck. That was in Denver, and that was a last minute thing. Lord Edward DeVoe, I believe is how you say his name, out of Northern Virginia, was my partner. I had never met him before that day that I remember, but we teamed that night, and Nitro was a phenomenon, man. And I asked Kevin, I have to thank Kevin Nash for that, because I saw him, we were in Salisbury, and they had brought me in to do an empty arena match with the NWO with Scott and Sean, X-Pac. And that night I said to Kevin, Kevin, because he was the booker, and I said, you know something I've never done? He goes, what's that, Dirty? Because they all call me Dirty Red. I said, I never worked on Nitro, dude. I said, is there any way? He goes, what do you mean? I said, I've never got to work on Nitro. I said, I worked all the other TV shows, the fucking European shows, all that shit, but I never got to do Nitro. He goes, let me see what I can do about that. And I'm printing t-shirts, okay? And there's part of this story that I have to leave out because the statute of limitations might not be up. But I'm printing these said black t-shirts with white letters on them.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think I know what they might say.
Okay.
I think I might have bought one of them.
Everybody in the fucking world was making these shirts. It was the hottest thing in the world. And J.J. Dillon calls me. Well, I worked for Mad Dog O'Malley, if you remember him, big ups to him. He had Mad Dog Graphics, he had a t-shirt shop, stuff like that. And he answers the fucking phone, and he just like looks at me with these big eyes. He goes, J.J. Dillon's on the phone. I'm like, how the fuck does he know I work here? Like, because I'd never, your personal shit and business, totally different. I get on the phone, he's like, hey, Bob, what's going on? I was like, hey, J.J. And he goes, is there any way you can be in Denver Monday? And this is on Friday. I went, fuck. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I know this motherfucker ain't asking me to drive to Denver. And he's like,
I'm asking you to drive to Denver.
and because we drove to Atlanta every week, but that was how we stayed booked.
But that was Atlanta too. Like from Baltimore to Atlanta isn't bad.
It's $750, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he transferred for some lady from Travel called, and they set the whole thing up, whatever. And it's funny because I forget the names. Big surprise there. I met these kids on MySpace because I didn't have a credit card.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I going to get from the airport to the arena? So I go in MySpace, and the way it was set up back then, I typed in pro wrestling fan, male, because I didn't even want to deal with the women bullshit, and all these names popped up. So I just instant messaged a couple guys, and these kids picked up on it, and they had some sort of show gimmick thing back then. It wasn't on the internet, but like a little thing going on. So they picked me up at the airport, I said, just get me to a hotel close to the arena, whatever, and I'll just take a cab from the arena back to the airport, because I was only supposed to work one night. And these fuckers dumped me off at this hotel that was like the Lord Radisson that cost $190 a night. And I'm going, holy shit!
They probably thought you were a huge star.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody thinks you make all this money. I make really good money there. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. Not.
It was all gone by the hotel. Yeah, the hotel ate your payday.
Yeah. And it was funny because I worked with them that night, and it was they had. If you remember the segment, they did like a promo first.
Yeah.
And it was the night after Road Wild in Sturgis.
Okay.
and they had a thing going with the Steiners. So somebody thought it would be fucking funny to have me come out to the Steiner Brothers music, but they didn't tell me. So I'm in Gorilla, and with Nitro, it's a metal stage, and when they blow that damn smoke, you really can't see shit until you walk out into the lights. All right, Bob, go! And I hear the music start, but it's a huge arena. I forget the name of it in Denver, but it's huge, so it's echoing. I can't tell what the hell it is until I hit the stage. And I came out and I put my hands in there and I went, that's the fucking Steiners music. And nobody is smarting me up to this shit yet, right? Yeah. All they told me was at the end of the match, the Steiners were going to come in out of the crowd with Ted DiBiase and beat their ass. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I'm done by then. I'll just roll out. Yeah. So I'm coming out to Steiner's music, I'm thinking, we are so fucked. These people are going to shit all over us, and that's exactly what the fuck they did. But what was screwed up, we didn't have much planned. I mean, I figured it was going to be like 3 or 4 minutes. Literally walking through the ropes, Nick Patrick goes, go home. I said, I just got here. What the fuck? And he's like, we're out of time. Go home. And I'm going, he's 6'8", he's 6'6". You tell them. Yeah. I'll do whatever you want. Yeah. But you got to talk them into the shit. And of course they went and did their thing. And we walked back through Gorilla. My head's down because I'm like, they said go home, and I've had that happen before. I didn't do that. Like, I'm not in control. But it was cool as shit. And it was funny because that night I found that they had Colorado Springs the next day, and I wasn't booked. I went up to Terry Taylor, who was one of the agents or whatever. I'm like, Terry, can you get me in, dude? I'm already here. It's like I could use the extra money. He's like, absolutely. They were having their booking meeting. He went in, and they needed an extra guy. And he was like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, fuck, how am I going to get there? He's like, what do you mean? I said, I don't have a credit card. I don't have a rental car. He's like, hang on. And he went over and he talked to Ming and Barbarian. Yeah. They were doing Faces of Fear. And to this day, I'll tell a story on here, and hopefully one of you young guys, and I'm being nice, that are out there that might be listening, will do the same. That trip, I jumped in with them 2 guys. We went to Denny's and ate. I went and stayed because Ming and Barbarian weren't allowed to stay in the same room. They got in too much trouble together. So they would always get their own room.
We heard a lot of, wasn't it Ming that went on that tirade? Wasn't it here in Baltimore when he ripped it?
That was one story, but then Barbarian beat up at the Crockett Cup, beat up the elevator.
Okay, yeah.
They weren't guys to be fucked with.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I stayed with Barb, and so there's rental car, there's a hotel room, and I'm thinking in my head, I got to give him money. I'm fucking, he helped me out, and I made an extra payout. We get to the airport the next morning, and I said, Barb, how much do I owe you, bro? I said, whatever you need towards the car and stuff. He goes, little brother, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, dude, I don't want to be that guy, right? And he said, all I want to tell you is this. One day, you can return the favor to one of the young boys. He said, I know you're not making shit, and I had to get it anyway because I'm on tour, And to this day, I've always tried to do that to the best of my ability with all the young guys. Yeah. That's why I wrestled at John Rambo's at the time. That's why I'm still at the NWO. That's why I'm still open to do shows and help out. Like I said, mostly referee. I will put on the tights. I still got all the television outfits. Unlike most guys, we had that talk a little while ago upstairs here with you where you had gotten rid of most of your shit. I still have all my TV.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like what you said with the young guys like me, like for example, before I was actually Chase, when I was still doing Gotham, right. I worked you twice as Doink. I've never worked you as Bob.
I've worked him as Doink and Bob.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. And I mean it was one of the easiest. It was one of the easiest two of the easiest matches I've ever had in my entire career. It was at the Apollo in West Virginia, the Apollo Theater, and then the Martinsburg Armory. Yeah. So, and the one match I remember, I sprained my ankle. I had you along the middle rope. The ropes were loose as shit. And I went in and I jumped on your back like the way the boss man used to or whatever and all that. And when I did, my fucking ankle buckled, and I just heard it pop, and literally to this day it hasn't been the same. Wow. And you noticed that I was hurt. You're like, bro, you all right? And I'm like, I fucked my ankle up. And you're like, all right, well, let's go this way. And you made it. And I worked another 5 minutes. So we were like, what, a minute and a half, I think, through that match?
Bro, I've seen guys get literally fucked up and still keep going. There again is a difference between now and then.
Yeah.
Now you sprain your finger and you're out for 6 weeks. Yeah. You know, or God forbid you come walking in and talking about you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to take 6 months off. We gotta
Yeah,
get drugs, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, grow the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
God damn, I've seen people, multi-millionaires, that said shit like that. Nobody fucking paid any attention to them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, and I know I always come off as I'm bullying or talking shit about the current day product, and I'm not. They're making money, and if you can make money, God bless you. That's what we all got in the business for. But I'm just saying the business isn't the same. And I hear
no doubt. It definitely is. I hate the way the business is. I'm very old school. I'm just like you. The way you see things logically is the way I see things.
I was told by a couple of promoters, and I'm not going to name them, but I need to grow the fuck up and get with the times and blah blah blah. Well, me personally, just my personal thought on it is, if anybody ever had the balls to open a wrestling promotion and do old school wrestling where people actually believed, I mean, because the thing of it is, dude, when you work with guys, okay, like say on an independent level, when the guys come in and they're big stars on TV, number one, they're scared. I know I always was. Whenever I would go to like a strange place to work with people I don't know if this guy's going to drop me on my fucking head, if I'm going to be able to do anything. You understand? And being a big star, especially if you were a big guy. You know, guys like Buff Bagwell and all them, when they go on the road, he's 240 pounds of muscle. This kid wants to suplex him, and he's got to worry, is this kid going to crumble under me and break my neck? You know, but you want to make the show look good.
Oh,
you know
no doubt.
Because if you make the show look good, then the promoter will bring you back. If not, fuck it, it's a one and done. But it just, there's something so drastically different of the mindset of what they're trying to do.
Yeah. I feel like me, and this is me as a trainer at the EWA school, I feel like that people have lost touch with the little things. Working the crowd, like getting in the ring and burning time.
Selling?
Like burning time and psychology. Like, that's one of the main things. Like, I'll sit there and I'll do something with the guys. I'll be like, well, why? Why do you do this? Like, I put you in a headlock. Okay, well, you're gonna fight out of it. Why? Because if I really have you in a headlock, you're gonna try to fucking get out of it. That's, and a lot of guys don't understand psychology.
Well,
that's what the current day thing is. Well, I gotta plan out. And I know up front, and God, I won't get heat for this, I swear I won't. No, Dallas Page is coming on your show.
Yes.
I love Dallas to death. He was always super nice to me. Him and his ex, Kim, they were always good to me anytime they saw me. And to this day, every time I see Dallas, he's always cool. Shit, he sent me DDP yoga, taught me one. He said, brother.
Oh, shit, I lost 70 pounds before my wedding doing DDP yoga. You saw it. Like, I mean, I lost a ton of weight doing that.
And Dallas, from what I understand, when you were a top guy, was so hard to work with because he planned everything.
Really?
I'm going, dude, I smoked those brain cells a long time ago. Like, I can remember. I get
so kind of like how Steamboat was.
That's not. Well, with Savage.
Okay, I knew it was one of the two.
Or Alex Lunar make me memorize a 4-page spot.
But the thing with Steamboat and Savage, that was Savage from what I understand.
Yeah.
I worked with Rick Steamboat, and
I knew it was one of the two. I just couldn't remember.
It was Savage.
Mind you, I've had 6 beers right now too. So.
I worked with Steamboat. The one big TV match that everybody that's on the internet now was in Columbus, Georgia. Actually, the month before, I worked with Bobby Eaton, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, Ricky, I'm Bob. I'm working with you tonight. Whatever." He shook my hand, and I said, "Anytime you're ready, bro, just give me a buzz me, and we'll put shit together. Whatever you want to do." Okay, no problem. I'll get with you after I get dressed.
Yeah.
So the first hour, we're like the third hour of TV or whatever the hell it was, and he's still not dressed, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's an ex-world champion. It's Ricky Steamboat. I would expect, whatever. So I'm just walking around bullshitting with everybody and stuff. And second hour TV's on, and Ricky's still fucking around doing his thing, And I'm going, oh boy. And I'm starting to get nervous because it's fucking Ricky Steamboat, right?
Yeah.
So towards the end of that show, here comes Ricky out of the dressing room with his stuff on or whatever, and I'm like, hey, Rick, what do you want to do, brother? He goes, you know the finish, right? The big flying cross body? I said, yeah. He goes, we'll call the rest in the ring. And I went, oh, shit. Like, if I miss a call, I'm so fucked. It's like, because I was trying to get out of the one-man gang, Shark. I wanted to get into some, not that those weren't good matches, but I wanted to get into matches where I could actually do some shit. And
that's a lost art now, just calling everything in the ring.
Yep.
But
Ricky Steamboat, when you asked about the smoothest people, the top two people that I always say was Beautiful Bobby from the Midnight Express, which is seamless. He was absolutely amazing, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah, Bobby Eaton doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Bobby Eaton doesn't get any credit anymore, and it sucks because
hasn't he had health issues recently too?
He has for the last few years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bobby in ages. I mean, last time I saw him was on an independent show for a guy named Chris Plano down in Virginia somewhere, and that's been forever ago.
Now, Bob, real quick, before I forget, if we can go back to MEWF just for a minute, there was one other guy I wanted to ask you about. What are your memories of our friend Wolfie?
Dude, what the fuck happened to him?
I have no idea.
This guy, for everybody out there listening, we used to have a guy that we would call Wolfman, and he would show up, and he was hairy as shit, and he would always take his shirt off, but he would help tear the ring down. And this guy actually went out with his own money and bought this little cart to carry the ring post and shit, and he was the nicest guy in the world.
Wolfie was there when I signed up.
He was right
because I remember, if you remember, and I don't mean to cut you off, Hero, if you remember, me and Zach Matthews.
Yes.
We were both around the same age. We went to high school together. We started off around the same time. And Wolfie was there. And I remember Zach broke Wolfie. I'll never forget it as long as I live. He gave him a Cobra Clutch Slam. And he gave him a Cobra Clutch Slam. And knocked him out.
That was Randy. That was Randy.
Was it Randy?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Well, I remember Zach was there. Mind you, this was 21 years ago, and I'm drunk.
But I do remember that.
Yeah. And he was there. And he was like,
He rolled out of the ring. He's just laying in the corner in the field position.
Yeah.
I walk over. I'm like, Wolf, are you okay? He just looks up at me and goes,
Yeah, and he looked exactly like Charles Manson. Exactly fucking like Charles Manson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And somewhere I still have it.
I do too.
I used to keep all that stuff. But the thing, you know what? I don't know whatever happened to him. He may be gone already.
He was
because he was a little.
He's kind of like Bump. He's
like
when we
Bump.
talked about Bump, he's kind of like Bump. Like he just vanished. Now, real quick, there's two more fan questions I want to get to. I'm gonna do them both at the same time, and then we'll be wrapped up, and then we're gonna get into the fun stuff after that, which is road stories and all that. So real quick, I'm gonna combine the two questions. You can answer them at the same time. Who is the person you respect most in the business? Back when you were a talent and also currently. And then the other one is, where is it? What is your biggest achievement you thought in your career in pro wrestling?
Let me do the second one first. My biggest achievement in this business, I'm still alive.
And you got 3 victories over the high priest.
And he's an idiot. But I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Everyone almost is gone. That I came up with. I worked ECW one time.
Who did you work when you worked ECW?
Ron and Don Harris, the twins.
Okay.
The guy chained an 8 ball.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that Axel got me booked. Paulie he knew I was doing WCW, which he had issues with. Didn't say a word to me, and I'm pretty sure they were told to beat the shit out of me and Hack Myers.
Yeah.
But those guys were good enough that everything they did, because it's on the WWE Network, it looked like they were killing us. I was good the whole time.
Yeah.
Scared to death because I didn't know what the ECW arena is. Fucking crazy, but.
If you've had a chance to perform there, I've had a chance to perform there 3 times.
Well,
my first match
then is so different.
My first match was against the Easter Bunny at the EC, and I was like, "This just feels right." This, we're in the ECW arena. Yeah.
You've worked the Easter Bunny, and I've teamed with Big Pecker, the wrestling chicken.
Jesus Christ! But like I said, when we were talking earlier, where I've worked for all these companies, I never ever even tried to go back to ECW.
Yeah.
Job guy, straight guy, it didn't matter. I had lots of friends there, and it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
CZW, not my cup of tea.
DJ asked me to come out to CZW all the time. He's like, I'd probably put you in hardcore stuff, but I would love to use you. And it wasn't my thing. Yeah. Like, I was like,
I don't do light tubes. I'll bleed all day for you, but I ain't do, I don't know about now, but then it bleed all day for don't hit me with no fucking light bulbs. Don't throw me in a third row at ringside. I'm not about all that shit. I get in there and get heat. You know what I mean? It's like there's forgotten things in this business.
That's another thing you just mentioned. Heat. You said earlier that that used to be a rule. Well, there's no rules anymore. How can you get heat?
Well, you can't get heat. None of these motherfuckers know how to sell anything. Nothing. They don't sell anything. You get super kicked 27 times in one fucking match. So okay. let me and I hate to do this because I had heat with the Bucks, bad heat when they first came around because they super kicked this girl with a shoe with thumbtacks on it, and I said
what the fuck?
Everybody fucking kirked out on me. Matt Hardy, a bunch of guys like DM me and like, shut the fuck up, you don't know these guys, and I'm going, dude, if she had moved her head just a little bit, she'd be blind. Because they, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah, that's just.
But under the water under the bridge. But here's the thing. In my day, start off that way. When Shawn Michaels fucking super kicked you, you went to sleep.
Yeah.
He didn't need to do 28 in match. He only needed to do
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was what it was called, a finishing maneuver. That's what it was.
Dude,
what a maneuver!
I got in
Like
fucking
that's
business. A fucking suplex was a finishing move.
yeah.
But understand, because there's a lot of fans on here that are smart,
Yeah.
and there's not, and there's still some that aren't. Not many.
Well, it's funny because I'm going to cut you off, but the fans who are smart are some of the dumbest people on the face of the planet. Like,
The work is on them. Because they think they're smart, but they still don't know shit.
yeah.
Here's the thing.
Smart Mark is kind of an oxymoron.
But they make great videos.
Oh yeah.
So if you can't get heat, then there's no point in having a fucking baby face.
Yeah.
The baby face can't get a pop if you can't get fucking heat. And you can't get heat if you don't know how to fucking sell. So what the fuck are these kids doing?
Yeah,
Everything that we were taught is out the goddamn window.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling managers, few and far between nowadays.
That's a long
Yeah.
That fucking thing is very important for a heel, especially the heels.
Especially if someone can't talk good on the mic.
Right.
You know,
That's why
it's
you got Heyman and Brock.
and
Most
honestly,
in the company.
most of them can't.
yeah.
Dude, I would sit there. They used to have these boxes at WWF TV, and they would step into the box, and it was soundproof, and they would do their shit. But you could watch from outside. There'd be a monitor or whatever. And bullet points. This. Here's the building. It's on the fucking VTR. That's it. What those guys did, if you go back and watch the old tapes, is amazing. Because these motherfuckers now got to have a 6-page shitting thing.
Yeah.
Looked over by 5 different people, okayed by Vince, run by the... What the fuck?
Yeah,
It's
and
just
to this day, I'll touch on that because Joe Hamilton used to call me One Take Jake. When I took the mask off as Gold Thumb, I actually started doing promos.
Right.
People were like, "Oh shit, this guy can talk."
Right.
And that's the whole thing. Is anywhere I ever went after that, if someone gave me a script, I balled it up and threw it in the garbage. And I was like, "Give me bullet points because I can get to where I need to go." Using bullet points.
How can you be passionate if you
Yeah,
can read
that's
the
the way,
whole
But
script?
that's the way the business always was. I've heard countless stories because I'm a huge mark for shoots.
Yeah.
Because I love to listen to one of the boys do their shoot, and I know because I was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember being in the dressing room when that. In fact, it's funny. You guys in the last 2 episodes have talked a lot about Vader.
Yeah.
The only fucking TV taping that I missed, I went on vacation, was the night that Paul Orndorff beat his ass in Atlanta.
Really?
It's the only one I missed in 3 years. I was on every fucking TV other than that one. And honestly, I'm glad I wasn't there.
And the
Because I
irony
didn't want to be part of that bullshit that went on.
The irony of Orndorff being involved in the first match that made you a fan, and then the incident of Vader later on, that'd have been something for you to see.
That's been another thing.
It all ties together.
Over the years, I mean, I'm going to leave people out. I don't mean to, but Grizzly Smith, Jake's dad, Arn Anderson, Paul Orndorff, Greg Gagne, Bill Watts, Dusty Rhodes, Jody Hamilton. These are all agents of mine. You look at the agents now. Tell me how. I can't read. With today's agents, like, and I'm gonna nail one guy because he's amazing. Hurricane Helms.
Yeah.
How the fuck does he not still have a job? I don't care if there's cutbacks or not.
Yeah.
Because Shane, when I met him, I was doing the gimmick, clowning around in North Carolina, and he put me over one day working for a guy named Viper, and I knew that guy had it. Period.
Yeah.
Like, and there's like, who the fuck are you to say that? Look, I've been around long enough, worked with enough people. I hit that kid one time, and the bump he took from it, I was like, holy shit. And he did it the whole match.
Yeah.
there's certain guys, when you see them, as soon as you see them, or more
absolutely.
when you work with them, the second that you punch or second you do something, you can just tell they get it.
Yeah.
Get what it's about.
The guy for
You know
me
what I
was
mean?
Marcus Streets. You remember Marcus from
Yes,
that?
I know Marcus.
I worked him. He had only been in the business for a month. We had a match. He was so smooth. I said, "How long have you been working?" He said, "I just started training last month," and it blew me away.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I mentioned in the last episode, to this day, he's my favorite opponent of all time.
Yeah. And with that, real quick, we're going to have to take a break. We're at the 40-minute mark. We're going to get some word from our sponsors, and we will be right back with Bob Starr.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Shining Diamond, Rico Diamante, and I am a graduate of the EWA Paint Factory. Have y'all ever dreamed of stepping out of the crowd and getting into the ring? I mean, that's exactly what I did, and all I'm doing is kicking ass and taking names since. The EWA Paint Factory is now accepting new students so you can experience the same success as the Shining Diamond, Rico Diamante. We're located at 1113 North Point Boulevard in Dundalk, Maryland, so make sure you find us on social media, on Twitter and Facebook. Make your dreams come true today.
Hi, I'm Sophia West, and thank you for listening to the Happy Hour podcast.
We here at the HH Pod would like for you to go visit Tony, Kaylee, and the rest of their talented artists at Instant History Tattoo and Art Studio in beautiful downtown Havre de Grace. They were recently voted second runner-up and the best in Hartford County. Make sure you check them out and get some quality ink done. Once again, that's Instant History Tattoo and Art Studio. Welcome back to the Happy Hour podcast. My name is Ray. Of course, we're sitting here with Bob Starr. We're going to get into the fun stuff now. So we're going to lead it off with our segment, which we debuted last week with the lovely Sophia West. We're going to do it now with Bob Starr. Bob, you have
I don't have as nice as tits as well, but it's all good.
Yeah. Now, you have the blackface card. And we gave you each our cards. Socrates, of course, he's subbing for Matt. Mike, he won last week. So you're going to read off the black card, and you're going to read what card you chose as the winning card.
Here is the church. Here is the steeple. Open the door, and there is... it's one or two. It's really hard. And they both got sort of the same thing to do with each other. But let's see. If we're in church and there is a steeple, there's a good chance we're going to get married, which is going to lead to sexual tension.
Who had sexual tension?
Sexual tension.
Oh, you
winner for the second week in a row.
Well, it was one thing. It was either going to be sexual tension or a 50
that one was mine.
Because you're about to get fucking
That was mine. So there,
Studley has that game. He told me about it, but we never played it.
Oh, Cards Against Humanity is great. Like, I mean, I need to get more sets. Like, I have a whole baseball card sleeve of them or whatever and all that. But, I mean, it's a fun game for those of you. If you're out there and you're listening to this podcast, you're fucked up individuals like we are. Odds are you play Cards Against Humanity, so you know what it is. So yeah, just get it, play it, all that. Now we're gonna get into the fun stuff.
Yeah, this is where I fucking shoot myself in the foot.
Yeah. This is where Bob. We might as well just hand Bob a handgun and just let him. Just let Bob just explode his brains all over my yellow wall in my basement.
Before we get into road stories, wrestling is known for notorious ribbers and practical jokers. And they all kind of tie together. So, are there any ribs that come to mind in any locker room you've been in that stick out
Ribs
to you?
that I did, or
that you've been involved with, witnessed,
I've
or
witnessed
heard
some
secondhand?
fucked up
Any
shit.
of the above?
The nasty boys, those fuckers. They would handcuff your shit to like the water pipe in the ceiling or the sprinkler, so you can't break the damn thing. And you're there all night long. It happened to me one time somewhere in Georgia. It was Eastern Georgia, and we're at this show, and I must have said something or did something and got them two going. I didn't have to work that night, but three of my guys did, so I had to wait till they were done to go back to Atlanta. And I come in, and I didn't think nothing. I should have put my shit in my car the second they said you weren't working, and I didn't. I come back, and I'm like, where the fuck's my bag? Where's my bag? And somebody sat back in their chair, and I want to say, it might have been Joey Maggs, God rest his soul. But one of them sat back and goes, "What's that?" And I look up, and my fucking bag is hooked to the goddamn sprinkler pipe. I said, motherfucker. It took 2 hours for the damn building to get the maintenance guy to go find a ladder big enough to get him up there with a friggin' grinder. And I kept the bag all these years because the handle's burnt on it. And it's just a big story. But you want to talk about some of the funniest ribs ever. Davey Boy Smith, Owen Hart. Jesus Christ, the stuff, Kurt Hennig, the stuff these guys would do. And you know what it is? It's really to break the tension. These guys, I was on the road 2-3 days a week. These guys are on the road every day. And it's like, after a while, everybody, all these young kids and stuff that are in the business today, oh, it would be so cool to be on tour. Motherfucker, you don't go on tour. You guys work 2 or 3 days and that call it a day. Yeah. These guys were on the road at one time when I first got in wrestling. They were working every day of the week. They were working twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
You get off 2 days.
You would work 2 towns in one day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and because of COVID, they're talking about doing away with house shows. Just completely. AEW doesn't even do house shows.
Well, so, AEW, in my mind, and I don't mention them too much, even on my social media, but AEW obviously would be the place I would choose to go. I know that was a question on your thing.
Oh, yeah, that actually was a question.
Where would I choose to go if I was still active in the business? And that would be AEW. But I think it's going to choke. I hope not. I hope it goes to them. But dude, it's just too much. It's getting hokey, and it's
too
like
much goofy shit. I mean,
at first it seemed like it was going to be that old school edge because there's so many smart guys down there.
Yeah,
Cody.
But it just and Cody, I don't know him. I know Dustin. I was there when Dustin first started. I was still a mark when Dustin first started because I remember him doing the Bunkhouse Stampede, I think, in Baltimore with his dad and stuff. And it's like, I've known Dustin all along. He's a great guy. Serious kudos to him for breaking his issues that he had. And he looks better than he's ever looked. You know, so he can prove you can do it. My fat ass can't, but he can. But, you know, like the boys would use ribs to just, I don't know, to break up the day, because it's the same thing day and night and day and night. You see the same fucking people and deal with the same bullshit, and it's people don't realize how political the wrestling business is, especially for the top guys. Yeah. That's why when they say, "Well, didn't you want to go farther?" Yeah, sure, I would love to make millions, but my position was bad enough. Yeah, we had to deal with those same rats, leftovers. we had to friggin'. We were driving to Atlanta every single week. So when you get home, it's a day of death because you're dead from driving. And then we had our own set of problems. Yeah. Those guys have so many issues. And now these kids who think that they're fucking 10 minutes of fame saying something smart ass on the internet or something, you don't understand. You're dealing with people that can ruin your life. Oh, yeah. Ruin your entire fucking life by posting something on the internet. Yeah. And it's like, I was told at the place I worked at, don't mention the name on this podcast or on any other one, but let's just say in today's society, some idiot could find out where you work, make one phone call, and before you even try to defend yourself, you're fired. Yeah. And that's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life.
I mean, my whole thing is if stuff actually happened, okay, cool. But my thing is how people are so vengeful, and Justin from 98 Rock talks about this all the time.
He's a great guy. He's funny as shit.
He sits there and talks about how these people on Twitter with no profile photo and all that, they will sit there and they will go back to 2002. And they will find something that you said offensive.
They open these accounts,
and then it's the kind of thing that you have to apologize, and then they want your job. They want you to completely look at Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is probably me and my wife's favorite comedian. Right. Aside from me was George Carlin, but George Carlin today would never fucking make. He would offend so many people.
Can I go to record and say every offensive thing I ever said, I meant it.
And I'm going to tell you something. Let's go way back to my grandmother. God rest her soul. Yeah. She died when I was a young boy. I'll never forget one day we're at the video store. Let's date myself.
Oh, yeah.
And there was
What's that? Some people are probably like, what's the video store? What's a video?
And we went and we rented Red Fox. Okay, for people that don't know, when you're young, he is one
From
of the
Sanford's
funniest.
oh god.
Yeah.
One of the funniest black comedians ever.
Yeah.
He was a vulgar motherfucker.
Oh, he was.
Oh yeah.
And my grandmother threw a.
That was Sanford's son, right? Yeah.
We put that videotape in, and my grandmother went off because he's such a foul-mouthed bastard. But never once did she mention that he was black.
Yeah.
Never once did she mention any kind of racial slurs. It wasn't about that. And that's how I was raised. There's trash and good people of all color.
Yeah.
That's the amazing part about this country, living in the U.S. You have white trash, you have good white people. You have black trash, you have good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've put terms on shit and stuff like that. And I was always taught, always think before you speak.
Yeah.
And I look at it like this: you could be saying something fucked up to somebody, and that doesn't really resemble them just because you're black or white or yellow or green. Yeah, whatever. I mean.
And we know firsthand, like Bob, we come from the wrestling business, and
Which was one of the most racial businesses ever.
Yeah.
When I got in the wrestling business, and I want to throw some names out there you're going to remember, Sledgehammer McGill, the Wild Thing AJ Fritzoid.
Yeah.
For the longest time, they were the only two black guys around.
Yeah.
In the big business, the Junkyard Dog, Tony Atlas, Rocky Johnson. For a long time, that's the only black guys you saw.
Yeah.
And now, it's a business. Like, everybody's there. Like, if you deserve to be there, you're there. If you're an athlete and you want to be part of the business, you're there.
Yeah.
I never gave a shit.
I never gave a shit either. Like, some of the guys I clicked.
Don't drop me on my fucking head. That's all I care.
We're all out there to do one job,
Rasta the Voodoo Man and Christ, SD Jones, and I'm trying to think, Mr. Bojangles, if you remember him.
Yeah.
Like, that's a local guy. Actually, he's not local. He wrestled all over the place, but he wrestled in Maryland for a while. And the whole race thing, and now that we touched on it on the other show, and I'm sure by now I'm already going to be crucified for the shit I said, and I really could give two shits. But here's the thing: I agree with the girls' movement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's also shit.
There's also rat. Yeah. And that's with anything
You
in general.
cannot sleep with 20 guys in the same group of people and not be called a rat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you the best rats in the wrestling business were in Philadelphia and Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom line.
And speaking of
Been
which,
there, done that.
I don't know why when you were naming names, I kind of thought of this, but and I always thought it was hilarious and comical. Do you remember a guy in MEWF called The Smoke?
Yes.
Oh my
I was
God!
the one that
And
put
for,
that on you.
yeah, for some reason,
he looked like Rocky. So I said, "Shit, use it, kid."
He even got the brown bull tattoo.
Well, here was my deal. Okay, when he walked into the school, I went, "Oh shit, he's screwed."
Yeah.
Timmy goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "He looks like fucking Rock."
Yeah.
Screwed.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do with him? Because no matter what you do, they're gonna call him Rock.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, prostitute the fuck out of
He
him.
was over. He was over with that though.
And
That was kind of like Renegade. Renegade looked like the Warrior, so he was
I
the
wrestled
Renegade.
a couple times, and it was so funny because I'm going. I never got to work with Warrior. Thank God. Everybody that worked with Warrior, it was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I'm fine. I've worked with nightmares too, but the thing of it was, we did business and we did what we had to do. But
I think we've all worked with nightmares.
I mean, hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? Love you. He's down there in Florida.
Yeah. Chris Clow, who
Yes, sir.
when
He
we
does
had
all
happy
the unboxing gimmicks. I watch his shit all the time.
and also when we had Happy Hour TV, he was one of the originals of Happy Hour TV. Yes.
But all right, so
And the
let's
cousin
see.
of James Ellsworth.
So shut up. You're the one who's reputation.
Kayfabe, what's that?
Like, all right, road stories from where?
Oh man,
let's pinpoint this.
how about this? What's the best strip club you've ever been to? We know ours. We know
talked
ours.
about it for 2 hours.
Yeah. We talked about it for 2 hours.
South in Atlanta, Georgia, in South Atlanta, Peachtree.
Did you ever go to Legs?
Yeah. Did you ever go to Legs in West Virginia?
No, but you know what?
dude.
I've wrestled in Ann Armory 100 times, and I went past that strip bar that's right there at that main road 100 times. I was either with my ex, with another chick, or just didn't have time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always wondered why there was never a wrestling show at this strip mall.
It was.
Right
We
there.
did a show there for Samu. Kevin Nash was actually on that show. And
I
Kevin Nash
bet
stole
you
my
Kevin-
stripper. We talked about
Oh
it.
yeah, we did talk.
We talked about it on the first episode.
Yeah,
I bet you Kevin loves that
He
one.
did.
Oh, my
They were
God.
gone. They disappeared for an hour and a half. I never saw them again.
Yeah.
All
That
right,
literally
so-
because the strip club closed.
Yeah, close.
I'm sitting here,
Yeah.
and people from my day job are
Yeah.
listening to this.
Yeah.
And old friends are listening, and young people are listening, and there's some people sweating like a motherfucker. And I'm trying to sit here because I only got a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it's time to pop.
Well, we can do extended time. The first one went about 117. We can go to 120, 130 if we need to.
I'm just thinking, pop the boys, make people sweat.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
What's the one road story? The one craziest road story that even if it outs some people, if you don't say their
time
names,
period with any group of guys, anything you want to throw out
I'm
there.
gonna tell you this: when I was in WCW, I met a lot of very nice people.
Yeah.
I still keep in contact with some of those people. But at the same time, when you're in the South versus the North, one question I can't believe fans didn't ask was, what was my favorite, WWF or WCW?
I had that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Working for Vince McMahon at the time that I worked for him, you would walk in and it would be like, holy shit. There's
Yeah.
just TV shit everywhere and people everywhere. And it's just like, oh my God. You feel like such a little bolt
Yeah,
in the machine.
yeah.
When I went to WCW, we're in always in
Yeah.
the South. I mean, I worked Philadelphia, Baltimore, and stuff like that, but most of it was in the South. And the people are so different down there. Whether it be the country boys or just Southern pride. You know?
Yeah.
Waffle House. I miss fucking Waffle House. There used to be a Waffle House in the parking lot of the hotel we stayed at in Atlanta. It used to be called the Dungeon. It's the Ramada, and now it's not even a Ramada anymore, I heard. But at the time, the Waffle House literally was in the fucking parking lot. So they would bring us home from the titty bar at 4 a.m. Yes, 4, not 2. And literally, the lady in there, it was an older black lady, big lady. She had like 6 kids, and she knew us because she would see us every week.
Yeah.
Dude, we would get off the hotel bus, and as we're walking to the Waffle House, the lady's throwing chicken on the grill, pork chops. She knew because we eat the same shit all the time, and it was. I miss the South so much, but for that reason, if you were in the business strictly to be seen and to be seen by the masses or whatever, and didn't give a shit of what they were doing on television, you worked for Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Okay? Vince McMahon was the character place. Vince McMahon was... And WCW had characters, too. They had a whole character development.
Oh, man, but I remember WWF, like, 93, 94. That's all they were, was characters.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy, the Bastion Booger guy, Doink the Clown.
Knuckleball Schwartz.
And that was on Steve Lombardi, who had been with the
The
company.
Goon. The Goon, yeah. Wasn't Jericho originally supposed to be the Goon? I think he was saying something. Originally, they
I've
pitched
heard
him
that
about-
story, but I've never asked Chris.
Yeah,
I was there when Chris first came. Dude, you want to talk about first and interesting things that I've been through, just things that happened. I was there when Harlem Heat walked into center stage for the first time from Texas.
Wow.
I was there when Chris Jericho came to Disney the first time because we were all hanging out with the Armstrongs, Armstrong's room, and Nick Patrick, very little known fact, is a chef. Not legit, but this motherfucker can cook. We're all over there, and I watched Brad Armstrong, which is one of my favorites. Like when I worked with Dennis, he was such a great guy. Blind as a fucking dog, could not see without his glasses. But he was an amazing worker. And that whole family. Right now, I want to real quick for all the fans out there. Bob's going through really bad health things, and it doesn't look good. And as the what's the word, patriarch from the family.
I just saw something that didn't he just celebrate his 60th wedding anniversary or something like that?
But the story is it's not till September, but they're not sure.
Okay.
So they did it early. And I saw photos, and it's nice to see them all together, but it's so... Last time I saw Bob, he was 230 pounds, all jacked up, and Brad and Steve and everybody. But the whole family are amazing people, and my thoughts are out to them. Dealing with the stuff that they're about to deal with, you know what I mean? It's just the fact of life. But it's not a drug OD or it's not anything like that. It's cancer, and cancer sucks. But anyway, so to get back to me getting in trouble, let's see.
Any good Axel
We're at the Waffle House in the parking lot.
Believe it or not, no. And I will say this for the first time publicly. A lot of people have stories about Axl Rotten and drugs and all this other shit. And it's not that it wasn't around. I know it was there. But I was one of the very few people, and I'm not sure David Wade might be one too. Axel never brought that shit to me.
Yeah.
He never tried to get money from me. He never tried to get. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was because of the respect that we came into the business literally weeks apart.
Probably.
We went to the same school with the same trainer and all that shit. But Axel, when he died, it hit. It hit like a fucking Scud missile. I was at work and I got a phone call. And nowadays, the fucking internet explodes instantly.
Oh, yeah,
It's like, people ask me, Dwayne Gilbert, close friend of mine, has been for many years, asked me, he goes, can you start posting happy shit on the internet? He goes, you're always talking about people dying. I'm like, but the thing is I'm remembering them.
Yeah.
And so many of the fans today, there's so many guys gone that they're never going to get a chance to see.
Yeah.
Guys like Big Boss Man or Snuka or whatever. And it was like,
that's what makes the WWE Network so great too, is that if some of the younger generation,
yeah, I don't think that part's fair.
Yeah,
Vince McMahon has bought up everybody's libraries pretty much, and it's like, where's Bob Starr? I had over 100 television matches with WCW. And 1 or 2 is on TV. You know what I'm saying? Everything should be available. And now they're starting this bullshit with where if you pay $9.99, you get this.
They had the tier system.
That. So to me, fuck them. I'm getting rid of it. I can go on YouTube and watch any of it anyway. But the thing of it is it's just like, it's heartwarming when like the fans that were writing in when you would put that logo on the screen that I was coming on and they would take the time to write questions and stuff. And it's like there's always a smart ass, and I've dealt with that the whole time I've been in the business. But when you get, how do you put it? Okay, the kids of today will never do what I did.
Oh yeah,
that position's no longer there.
Yeah, like I mean, look at it like this. Like I'm one of those types of guys, and like Bob, you've known me for a long time. I know how to work. Like I've never heard anybody, whatever. What pretty much held me back was I was never really in shape. Like when I went and got that right there. Like I don't know if you saw it. That's what Jim gave me for the EWA Hall of Fame.
What held me back was schizophrenic breakdown. Another story.
The whole thing is I look at it. I'm like, when I did the EWA Hall of Fame show, Mike can contest for this. I was in the best shape I ever was in my entire life, my entire career.
That was a hell of a match.
And it's the whole thing that I look back and I'm like, I was good enough in my career that I probably could have made it as a talent. Like, what you were in
that's
WCW.
What I'm saying. You were just born too late.
Yeah. Because I can sell my ass off. I'm probably one of the best sellers out there. Like,
that's exactly what he's saying. People can't attain that level anymore because that level isn't there to it.
It's just impossible. And I know we're cutting into the fun stuff, but here's the thing. There's wrestling stars now. And there are a few superstars, such as John Cena, Randy Orton. To me, I love Dolph Ziggler. I think they have fucked him harder than anybody in that company.
One of the best sellers of all
because
time.
He's the second coming of Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah, no doubt. He looks exactly like him. He has the same boots as him and everything.
Whether it was because of one of the Bella girls, because of Cena, or whatever the reason is, they have screwed him around for years. And by the time they're done, I don't think Nick's going to be able to, he can get to AEW, but how many more years you got?
But the thing is now, I think now it's just the money with him. He's like,
I got That's the most important. Did you get paid? You got your money.
Yeah.
But the business is, it went from being something serious to being something comical.
Yeah.
And there's room for comedy, but not to take over the show.
Right.
It should never be the main focus of the show.
There's a piece of ha-ha. Okay.
Yeah. You should always have one comical thing, one serious thing, fillers, all that.
Jericho's a good example. Jericho can be goofy as shit, but you still take him serious because he's a serious wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And he looks like a wrestler.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Okay, somebody asked me the other day, what is the biggest difference I see? And what I see is, when I got in the business as a 16-year-old kid that was 270 pounds, was men and women, not girls, not kids. And they took the shit serious, and they beat the shit out of each other every night in rings that sometimes the ring was hard as a rock, sometimes it was a babyface ring, it was a good ring. But you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young kids that just don't understand this business, what the fundamentals, what the art of selling, what the art of heat, of babyface. Like, there's never, ever going to be another person that's going to get the Road Warrior pop.
Trust me.
Not to that extent. Because at that time, these two men, who were babyfaces more than heel, when they walked out of the dressing room, you fucking feared them.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the ring. I'll never forget Cops Coliseum, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And there was 100 matches that night. It sucked. And when I looked back when
Was that like a dual taping or whatever?
It was Superstars, but they taped 3 weeks at a time back then.
Yeah.
Would that be the same show that you were in a Battle Royal?
Yes.
40-man Battle Royal.
Yeah. I
Had
was
Bret
part of
Hart,
the
Rick
first
Martel,
Jesus fucking
Eric,
Christ! How
Tito
much
Santana, Sergeant
wrestling?
Slaughter.
How much
Bob's in the
wrestling
ring
do you absorb?
all these legends
Were
here.
you with Bob when that happened? Like, I mean, Jesus
He
Christ!
clicked on that.
Holy
that
shit!
Called,
Like,
what's that
God
thing? Wikipedia.
damn, yeah,
Somebody
like-
put all that shit on Wikipedia. Which
No, this
I wanna be
motherfucker is
public.
like he has like a brain of a computer. Like it
I want to
literally.
be
Like,
public. That
yeah.
Wikipedia, I've never had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I don't run it.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to do it.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had somebody send me a question about why in the world would your parents move from Malibu, California to Baltimore,
Maryland.
Maryland?
yeah.
Because it's
Because-
fucking work.
That's
Wait a minute.
It's so fucking work.
that just tied into the whole Wikipedia thing, and then people putting whatever they want to put on there.
But
I may or may not have changed one or two people's pages.
yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. Like, we can talk road stories. I can get motherfuckers divorced. That's not what it's about, though.
Yeah, yeah.
When I go into a dressing room, and this is 100% shoot, I go into a dressing room and I'll sit down with some guys I know, and there'll be other guys that were taught correctly, which they sit there, they keep their fucking mouth shut, and they listen. And you will learn more by doing that than you will by doing. And I don't give a shit whose school it is. I don't care who the trainers are. I don't care none of that shit. Keep your mouth shut and listen.
Yeah.
Because there's people all around you that are more experienced than you that are speaking, and you can speak to them. But usually you wait till you're spoken to, because you don't want to irritate them. Then they don't talk. You know? And I was taught that when I first.
I was always told. I was always told, if there's a legend in the locker room, take your chair and put it down next to them and just sit there. Put on your gear. Don't say a word and just
And
listen.
always introduce yourself. Shake everybody's hand. And the thing, like the night. I know you were there. I'm not sure if you were there. It was EWA show in Parkville, and Jake was there.
I worked him.
Okay.
I worked Jake. Yeah.
Me,
I was
Axel,
gonna bring that up actually. Yeah.
Me, Jake, and Axel sat in the dressing room that night after it was all said and done, and we're just sitting there bullshitting, going over things, and it was so funny to see the reaction on some of the boys' faces.
Yeah.
They're like, "Holy shit!" And I'm thinking, dude, this was every day.
Yeah. I was gonna bring it
shit
up.
we're
We're talking about with the Kobe Pro Show where
Yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Nash was there and the guys were lined up to get
Yeah.
autographs with
Well,
him. It's
that's the
like-
thing. Like when you
It's like show respect, but don't be a mark.
yeah.
Well, but here's the thing, and I've learned this the hard way. I wished I would have been a mark and had a camera and got pictures with my friends, because now they're
Spike
gone.
Dudley said that. Well, me and Blood did Krivy Pro,
Right.
and Blood worked Spike Dudley, and it you got to listen to episode 2 of the podcast. He talked about literally throwing Spike down the fucking bleachers at Kobe Pro, but we rode with Spike,
Right.
and Spike was telling us he's like I really wish I would have taken more pictures with guys like Balls and
Balls
stuff
was
like
a good
that,
friend of mine.
because he's like you
underrated
never
guy. Balls
you
was a
never
good one.
know when, like, you notice if I ever see you at a show or something like that, I always get a picture with you
Absolutely.
or whatever. Just like at the end of this, we're all going to get pictures with you or whatever to post on the podcast page.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing of you never know what's going to happen to somebody, and that's
And
just
it just
something-
happens in everyday life too. And we're not trying to say everybody dies.
Yeah.
We're all
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
die.
yeah.
But the problem is, unfortunately, in this business, you die a lot quicker and a lot earlier.
Yeah.
For many different things. And number one is beating the fucking shit out of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Most
Yeah.
people don't throw their bodies down 8 million times
Yeah.
as a normal thing. But when we talk about road stories, dude. I'm not gonna touch back on the thing that's going on today.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. I have been witness to a mother telling me to bang her daughter in the ass. I have been witness
You were just witness, though.
to well, I was busy at the fucking time. But people go, ooh, that's gross. No, that's fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know any mother that would do that with their daughter. Dude, that was WWF.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I got to go get real normal rats. I'm going WCW.
You know what?
It's calm. WWF. And this ain't WWE. That's the kids with the PlayStation generation.
Yeah.
It ain't the same shit.
Yeah.
We would go do our shows. The guy that won the prize was a motherfucker that got in the ring, did his match, got a shower, got back to the hotel, and got to the bar first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everywhere we went. And the cool part was, at the time I was doing house shows and stuff, and in that generation or whatever, was that somebody's been in this town before, so they know where the hot spots are. They know where to go. And you can go to bars. I've been to bars that it's 2:00, time to close. Oh no, not for you guys. We're just kicking them fuckers out.
Yeah.
Because the owner of the bar wants to hang out with us and talk with us. And now we don't pay for shit. Oh, cool. Count me in. But like I said, you get a lot of these kids of today go, ew, I can't believe you did that. Man, I can't believe you guys play fucking video games.
Well, if you're in that situation, like, what are you gonna do?
I think that mother and daughter story that might top the time I had a hooker dropped off at my house by her dad.
No. And you wonder why Socrates is one of the most requested guys on the show. Why everybody's like, look at the big smile on his face while he's wearing his sunglasses with his blind ass eyes.
I just can't believe his cocaine fell off. But here's the thing, man. We live the life of rock stars.
Yeah.
For the most part, and this isn't me, I'm straightforward when I tell people, the only drug I've ever done is smoke weed, take pills. And I didn't take a lot of pills. I was one of the ones that when I was hurt, I took them because I wanted them to work.
Yeah.
But guys, we live the life of rock stars.
Oh, yeah.
And we travel from town to town, and we have no fucking life because our life is at home. Oh, it's my mom's birthday. Oh, sorry, I gotta miss it. I gotta be in Atlanta. Oh, it's my sister or my cousin's birthday. Oh, I'm in fucking North Carolina.
Well, you might remember
you miss all this shit. And the wrestling fans, quit trying to be fucking smart and just enjoy the product.
Yeah.
Number one. But number two, understand something. For that guy that you call a jobber, or think he's a piece of shit because he didn't win, or you think this, or you think he's a heel, he's an asshole. We gave up our life to entertain them in one way or another, whether it's good or bad. Because I'm not going to say all the matches are good. I've seen lots of shitty matches. But the bottom line is I could have been home with my fucking family that night.
Yeah.
But I chose to be in a business.
Really, it's kind of like, who the fuck are you to tell me when I'm out there putting my body, my livelihood, and I'm missing my family's events on the line for you? You know, and that's the thing. And like when I first started in the business myself, it was about me. And then I started in 2005.
That was a fun time.
Yeah, I started in around 2005 when I wrestled my first, 2004 was my first match. Around 2007.
I was out of WCW. Holy shit.
Yeah. Around 2007 was when I first started to get it. And it wasn't about me anymore. It was about going out there and entertaining the people. You know, and that's why I'm doing this podcast. You know, my wrestling career turned into the TV show.
Right.
The TV show turned into this. I'm going to do whatever I can to continue to entertain people because, as we said earlier, it's like a drug addiction. You know, you just got to do whatever you need to do to, you know.
Except for with this, you don't need a ton of rubbers and penicillin shots. Because you're fucking on the internet.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. People don't understand. I don't want to hear, ooh, I can't believe you did that. Well, you know what, motherfucker? Here's the deal. I didn't say you should do it. I said I did it. I made choices. I made some good ones and I made some very bad ones. But you know what? I'm still here. And a lot of my friends aren't that made bad decisions. And it's like I have made lifelong friends. You guys.
Oh,
know, I mean, you know, you didn't know me from Adam when I came to work for you. And it's like, but when I came to work for you, you treated me with respect. You told me what you needed me to do, and you're the employer. You paid me. I did what you asked. I tried to do it the best of my ability. And like it is now, man, I'm telling you, the wrestling business, because everybody knows COVID's out there and all this other shit, and half people think it's bullshit and half people don't. Well, here's the thing. Over 1 million people have died.
Yeah.
You know, so who's to say you're not fucking next?
Yeah.
You know, I read something the other day. A family had a surprise birthday party in Texas for somebody, and like 19 members of their family had got this shit. That ain't a fucking joke. Okay, for all these promoters out here that are so fucking worried about running these wrestling shows to make your $20 payoffs and fucking go home with $200 at the end of the day. Think about the boys, because the boys aren't smart enough to think about themselves.
Yeah.
You know, all they're worried
the boys just want to work.
It's an addiction.
You know what, though?
They want to get in front of the crowd. They want to get. But let me tell you something. One sick person can fuck up everything.
Oh yeah.
Why
Look at WWE. They just had what was it? Like a whole
bunch of
crew?
people.
Yeah.
But it's just the thing. The thing of it is, I try to tell people.
But the good thing is, when TNA starts running again, they'll have the same crowd they had before.
But no, like speaking on the stuff with like Sacrifice or whatever, and you might remember the show. It was MCW. It was the biggest crowd I ever worked in front of in my life. It was at Del Rosa's, and it was 2010
football show.
And I worked Cobian. It was Cobian. It was the night that the midget came, and they couldn't book the midget because his blood pressure was so high that the doctor said he should be clinically dead. And I'll tell a fun story real
Who was
quick.
the midget? Do you remember?
I don't remember what his name was, but he's some
Short
fat
Sam
midget.
Sampson?
I think that's that might
It might have been Bad Boy.
yeah. But anyway, so we're there and we do the show, and my beautiful wife Jess, you know Jess, you met her earlier, and we just got together. We just got together. It was one of the first times we met or whatever and all that. I'm like, well, we were supposed to go on a date that night, and Danny called me, or Cradle reached out to me, and he's like, hey, we have this big opportunity. We want to put you with Jesse K, who's now reffing WWE, and Alexander James, who's traveling all over the world, wrestles in England, all that stuff. We want you to kind of mentor them into the whole thing. It's a big opportunity. There will probably be over 1,000 people. Whatever, all that.
Those shows were always packed.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm game. So at that point, I need to tell my new girl who I'm talking to, hey, we can't do that. But at that time too, it's like the kind of thing, well, this is stuff that's going to come up. I'm in the wrestling business, and she came and we got through it, and
so many times and it's so hard. Birthdays, Christmas. We didn't miss many. I didn't miss many Christmases, but I tell you what, I remember going to many shows Christmas night at the Capitol Center.
Oh yeah.
And Hogan, who woke up with his family and opened shit, had to go jump on a plane to go come headline that fucker.
Oh yeah.
And people just don't get it, and they're like, oh, they make $1 million. Yeah, Hulk does. We don't.
Yeah. Well, like for example,
$400 a night when you're working there doing house shows, and that's great money. But and I'm not asking for anybody to go all poor. No, I chose to do it. But the thing of it is when we tell our road stories, and when we talk about, I'm 48 fucking years old. I started this shit at 16. I don't remember a lot.
That's how I am. I started at 13. And I mean, you remember when I walked through the doors at MEWF. 13, I'm 35 right now. Yeah. So that shows how far back we go.
Oh, would I be in trouble?
Yeah.
But I just, and the thing of it is, and I hyped it up on the internet coming into this show, and I can sit here and tell you every story about every rat and every fucking town and crazy shit and thing that we've done, and the fact that most wrestling schools, not of today, I guarantee not of today, but wrestling schools of the past were like houses of horrors. It was just when they find us, it's over, and it's like, and it is what it is. People will bitch at me for saying that, but there's always there's girls making cookies, and they bring you this and they do that, and they're whatever. I mean, I got this guy. I'll give you a story. There's a guy at my work, and this is 100% shoot, and I'm not mentioning no names, but let's say he is actively hooked up with this chick through Tinder, which I've never experienced. I knew right from if I get around it, I'm going to be in trouble, so I stayed the fuck away from it. But he's doing this chick, and her husband is laying on the other side of the bed, and I'm going, bro, we did that kind of shit back in the day. You better make sure this motherfucker ain't got a shotgun under the bed.
Yeah. But he rolls over and pulls a handgun out of his drawer, and you're done. You're done for.
You could literally go, hey, I fucked Bob Starr. There's a good chance people are going to go, yeah, so did I. Okay, whatever. But that's just not today. This is 2020. And I'll be honest with you, I think this COVID thing is going to hurt this business far worse than what people realize, because these fucking stupid promoters are going to try to run shows before they should, and then you're going to see fans trying to sue these promoters if they catch this shit. How it's going to work, I don't know.
Well, they're probably going to try to make everybody sign a release, I would imagine.
Yeah, but every fan that walks to the
that's kind of much. Like if I'm a fan, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm not signing
concerts, this. Okay, I've been doing that for about 10 years now, and I take as many pictures and I put them out and I market them to people trying to sell them to magazines and all this other shit, or people that just are big fans, whatever. From what I understand, the few mock-ups that they've done of how they're going to do these buildings for these concerts, I don't want to fucking go to that.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. Yeah. Why am I going to go to a concert and drive in and listen on the AM radio channel? Fuck you.
And we definitely need to have Bob on again in the future to talk about just the concerts that he's
dude, I could
yeah.
I'll set it up with that because I don't know their families.
Yeah. And we're definitely going to have Bob back in the future. We probably have about 5 minutes left. Right. So, Bob, real quick, with 5 minutes left, we're extending the episodes, just because of you, because we're great, we're great friends, we love you. Right off the top of your head, what do you think is probably the wildest road story you could think of? that you've had in the business?
You're so fucking like, it's really hard because, like, imagine I have lived a road story for 32 years.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, be honest, 30 years. Because the
Yeah.
first 2 years, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. And back then, if you were lucky to work 5 times a year,
Yeah.
you know, now these guys are working 5-6 times a month. I think that the girls need to stand up for themselves. If the shit that they're claiming is actually happening still,
Yeah.
then they need to stand up. If this shit happened 10 years ago or 5 years ago and you didn't speak up then, you still have an issue and a bitch.
Yeah.
But understand, people are going to doubt you because you didn't say something at the time. I've been friends with girls like Casey Carlisle. I was on Jerry Springer with fucking Lexi Fife. I wouldn't even touch on that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's why we need to bring you back, because, I mean, 32 years of you being in the business, there's no way we can get to it in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know.
But these girls are a very important part of the business. It has changed so much in the last few years. I'm not the one that says they don't belong there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying
That was me that said
Hashtag heat.
They didn't fuck Socrates, so they don't belong here.
Here's the deal. When I came into wrestling business, and for the first 10 years or so, women were a very important part of the business. They were something you bought tickets to see. When people came to the arena
But
and
mainly
opened
it's
up,
valets, right?
well, no. They were both, because we had like Wendy Richter and Morgan.
Yeah, yeah.
But you would open the program with the paper in there and see there's a girls match and get excited.
Yeah.
You would see there's a midget match. They would get excited.
Those I miss.
But they all got smart, I think, and quit. But fucking, what I'm trying to say is now, if there isn't 3 girls matches on a show, the girls are bitching there ain't enough girls. The promoter's going, these bitches are expensive. Like it's like, and now all these problems too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I totally back the girls. The number one thing is rape. That's not cool. I was raised by all women, so that's just shit.
Yeah.
The part about the promoter thing is shit too.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me blow you to get on the show. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Unless you're Socrates.
But but the thing of it is it's not just the girls. I read a story the other day about a big black guy that's down at NXT, there's North American champion.
Oh yeah.
Talking about some chick that dropped shit in his drink, and I'm going, where is this bitch?
Really?
Like, I heard for 10 years at WCW.
Yeah. Socrates is like, wait a minute.
That's how crazy people are nowadays. And understand the power of this fucking internet, man. Like I said, we were talking about a podcast I did one time, and I mentioned a friend of mine, and he called me and goes, what the fuck? This was 10 years ago, and he just saw it. I'm going, whoa, like this shit, this show now.
Yeah.
Someone will bring it up 10 years from now. And go,
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm not down.
Even if 12 people hear the show, somebody will hear it and they will be like, Bob Starr said this 10 years ago.
Shit.
Some guy in Ireland.
Here's the thing. And here's my lesson to these people.
Yeah.
Quit being a bitch.
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. You have feelings, I have feelings. I may hurt your feelings, get the fuck over it.
Oh, yeah.
The same way I get over it. And I'm not saying that
Move
to be
on
a
with your
dick,
life.
But
You know,
understand, this generation of children that were raised by young girls that got knocked up at 14 and 15 that were still children are the idiots that are going through the street tearing shit up.
Yeah.
This Antifa bullshit, all this stuff. We don't need that. We're in wrestling, man.
Yeah.
You know, if they did the
Wrestling is a release. One thing with wrestling is it's a release and it has always evolved.
If they did the Booker T Stone Cold grocery store thing now, motherfuckers would lose their minds.
Oh, yeah.
And that was over the son of a bitch. But it's
Price check,
wrestling.
jackass.
Yeah, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like Sanford and Son. I can't even believe it's still in the fucking air.
If you start taking it away from wrestling, you have to take it away from a TV show, a movie, anything else too.
Well,
I mean, imagine how sterilized and boring all those forms of entertainment would be if you had to go that
That's
angle.
what they're trying to do.
People are going, tear down that, do this, fuck you.
Here's the thing. If
This shit's been here 100 years and I'm gonna do it because you're crying?
If your life is that affected by a statue, you have no fucking life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But here's the thing. Wrestling's been around 100 years too. And there's a whole lot of people who think they're doing good for this business
And they're not.
and they're destroying it.
Yeah.
You know, there's people, and I will...
Do you think it can ever get back to the way it was before?
No.
Yeah.
You can't
The business has changed too much.
You
I agree.
you can't put the surprise back in the box.
Right,
They let it out of the box.
Right.
But here's the thing. If you're good and you're a worker and you look like a wrestler
still get over.
and you hit motherfuckers like you're supposed to and you do it the way that we were taught, guess what? They still believe.
Yeah.
Maybe only for 2 hours.
And honestly, they're local
But they
guys.
still believe.
They're local guys, so I'm kind of I'll be kind of biased with it, but I think guys like Adam Cole and Drew Gulak, those are those kind of guys.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Those are those kind of guys.
Those were the guys that when I refereed, because Adam's young enough that I wasn't still really wrestling then. I wrestled a little bit around him, but I refereed. I knew he had it.
Yeah, his second match was against me.
Right.
And
I mean, I knew that kid. I watched him eat the protein bars. I watched him drink the shakes. I watched him do the workouts. I watched him, and that's only at the building.
Yeah.
When he was at home, he had to be doing it too because he was in great shape and he's a hell of a worker. I think right now Adam's got a great position, but I think he deserves even more. They need to take him up to the main roster and let everybody
no doubt.
because NXT is still a niche thing. It's internet.
Yeah.
So when you understand what I'm saying, it started only on the internet, and now it's on. What the hell is it? What I forget what network. It's
on USA.
on USA now.
USA,
Okay.
yeah.
We were on USA in the early '80s and '90s. USA is a great wheel, but when you go to Fox.
Yeah.
Everybody can see you. You don't have to have cable to see Fox. When you and that particular kid, I've always said, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wished I knew Nick. I don't know him at all. I've never met him.
Yeah.
But I am such a fan of his work, and I see Shawn Michaels in him, and I see a guy that'll go out and spend the money on the gear and take the time to learn shit and be willing to do anything they ask him, even though he knows it's just fucking him.
Yeah.
He's better than what he's getting. Like, they just let go a lot of guys, and I understand there's always a major cutback after WrestleMania, but they need to get some of them guys back to work. They need to stop worrying about all this bullshit.
I think once this COVID stuff's over with, I think they'll bring back a handful
But I
of
don't
those
think,
guys.
I don't think, Ray, in my honest heart's opinion, COVID's not going to be ever over.
Yeah.
Whatever this shit is.
It's the next flu.
Well, whatever it is, it's been released, and they're not. You can't put it. It's like lightning in the bottle, bro. Can't put it back. So the new business that we're grooming to without fans, okay, I have no interest in at all.
Yeah.
I turn on the TV. I DVR.
You can't like you play off the fans. That's the thing. Like it's so weird watching wrestling with no fans.
AEW is at least doing it halfway right there because they got like the Fight Club feel with a small crowd.
Well, UFC kind of, sort of. I mean, when I leave the studio tonight, like legit today, I'm going to hang out with Ruckus and watch UFC, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, Ruckus got me into UFC. I was totally against it for years and years and years. Because it was fucking the wrestling business up. But to turn it on now, I go to hang out with my friends and see my friends because I don't get to see them that much. But to watch a show, these guys beat the shit out of each other and there's no one there. I don't get it.
Yeah.
They need to take wrestling back to studios. Small studios, like the old WTBS days. The reason I say that is the government's only going to allow so many people in anyway. You figure out a way to distance them where we're not
Kind of like how WCW Saturday Night was, but you distanced them out.
That place was 900 people. That was 900.
Really?
Center stage was 900.
Holy shit.
Talking like
Not
the
studio.
Techwood Drive area.
Yeah, Techwood Drive, where there's only 160 people, whatever.
Yeah.
And the problem is, will we ever be able to do house shows again?
Yeah.
Or arena shows? Will Joplin, Maryland have MCW? Will Parkville have EWA?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. And the thing of it is with all this sexual
it's definitely time to start thinking about a plan B.
Who wants to bring the little kid now?
Yeah.
And like I said, if it's legit, you have a bitch. But at the same time, if it's not, shut the fuck up because you're ruining shit.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see promoters, I don't want girls on my card no more. You're going to see promoters, well, I'm not dealing with the LGBTQ people because they get so up in a puff if you say something wrong. It's just pro wrestling.
Yeah.
We all fell in love with this business. And all these people listening, like the guys from my work and the friends and everything else, I'm still the same Bob. I've never changed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I can't get a fucking push. But it's just the thing of it is, I came like today. The second you said to me about being on the show, I'm in.
Oh yeah.
It's just a timing thing. With
And honestly, when I started this podcast, we got to wrap this up probably within the next 30 seconds. But when I started this podcast, there was two groups of people I thought of. One was Socrates and Blood, who are my very best friends in the business. Second was you. And I mean, there's a lot of wrestling in this podcast. We're going to try to space it out because we're not a wrestling themed podcast.
Right, you do it all.
But, my ties with the business, there's going to be a lot of it intertwined.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know,
the rest of your life, no matter what
Yeah.
you do, once you've been in this business, wrestling
Yeah.
will always
In
be
your
part
blood.
of your life.
Yeah.
Whether it be that you sit home, keep your mouth shut, and just play on the internet, or you go do whatever you do. Wrestling, I was told a long time ago, and I agree 100%, is the strongest drug in the world.
oh yeah,
Just
Yeah.
like for baseball, for
100%.
baseball players, just
Yeah.
like basketball,
Music
for
for
basketball
musicians.
players.
Same thing.
Yeah.
There is no color. There is no with I don't know what the right word would be. I don't give a fuck if you're gay. I don't give a shit
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
LGBT. I don't care. It's wrestling.
yeah.
It's
You're all
there's
doing
a
the
place
same
for
thing.
everybody in this business, and it's like we just need to protect each other more. You know,
Yeah.
we lost sight of that for a while, and now I think with the shit that's going on, people are going to pay attention.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it's not too late.
The fans lost the business for so long now because of COVID that the first show that comes back where there are fans, hopefully it sells out.
And I think it'll be hot as shit.
Yeah. And with that being said, we need to wrap. We're running way beyond schedule, and you know,
Get out the scissors and hit this one.
Bob, we really appreciate it. We know
Absolutely.
you've been in the business for 32 years. We're definitely going to have you back in the
Oh,
future.
absolutely, man. And like
know.
anytime you need somebody
Yeah.
to sit in, whatever. And
Yeah.
and for the fans that didn't hear what you wanted to hear, you're going to.
Yeah.
It takes a while, and there's a million stories, and there's a million road trips. It's like 32
Yeah.
years of doing this shit.
Oh yeah.
It adds up.
We're going to do more War Pigs episodes.
Yeah,
That's what's going to happen. So, but
But
with
An
thank you
absolute
for
pleasure,
having
and
me
thank you
on.
for your
Yeah.
I
time.
want to thank all the people out there. Check it out. And check out the other what do you call it?
episodes.
Episodes
Yeah.
of the podcast, because it's
Yeah.
like Ray just said, it's not just about wrestling, it's
Yeah.
about porn. How can you not like porn?
Wrestling and porn. What else do you need?
Yeah.
It's
Porn. And in October, we're going to have someone come on. They're going to talk about Ghost Story. With that being said, I'm Ray for Mike and Socrates. Thank you for listening to Happy Hour Podcast. We will see you next week.